So I'm going to use the With Love and Best Wishes for this card, and this packet is very deceiving. You look at that and you think the dies are not very big, but they are. This is the size of the die, and again it's in 3 parts. So you've got the base, you've got the layer, and you've got the words. You need to use the layer and the words together to create your cutout sentiment. So with this, I'm taking a piece of card, and I've just folded an A4 piece in half, and I'm going to leave the top edge of the die over the edge of the card. So once I've done that and I remove the die, I will have a card that is joined at the top. So again, it's another shaped card, and it's squashed it that hard I can't open it. There we go. So there we've got another shaped card. Now, to stop that from spoiling the look of our card, we need to cut another panel in this with this die to fit on the top. So there's our full panel created, and that will sit on the front of your card. But if you didn't want to create a shaped card, you can cut your panel and you can add it to an ordinary sized card. This is just a 5x7, and that would create a nice look for the front of your card as well. Now with the next die down, I'm going to cut some patterned paper. So once I've cut this in some coloured card, I'm now going to take both of these. I'm going to use this one first and cut some white, and then I'm going to put the word die in it and cut the panel again. And there we've got With Love, Best Wishes. Now these dies, or this word, is very suitable for snipping. So let's just snip into it and remove the word from the die. So you need to look at it and see where you want to snip it. And very carefully snip it out. You can do this with any of the dies in these sets. Just look very carefully, and then you don't snip it in the wrong place. And if you're not sure, you can always lay the die down, and with a pencil you can just make marks of where you can see that it needs snipping, and that will help you to get the best look on your card. There we go. Now if you curve your snips around with the die cuts, it will look very neat and tidy. And there's our word. Now I'm not going to waste this piece that's left. I've taken another piece and I've added it to this card, and that will sit on the top. And the words will go on this card over here. And then we can start to decorate. So to create the other card, I've used the stitched edge to cut the white one, and I've used the smaller one to cut the same pink card as I used on this. And that's going to sit on the front of this card. So we're now getting 2 cards for the price of 1. And you might as well, because you've split your die cut, so there's no point in wasting it. So that can sit on there. That will sit on there, but let's get some gluing done first. Let's glue this panel to the base. So we'll marry the edges up nice and neat. That's it. We can add the pink panel to the front. we can glue the words in place. And again, I'm going to use some glue and the little brush because I don't want to make a mess of these words. So we'll just add little bits of glue to the backs of the word. Because I tend to get glue everywhere. I'm the same when I'm painting. I paint everything. If you stand still long enough in my house when I've got a paintbrush in my hand, you get painted. Okay, so now we can pop that wherever we want on our card, and I'm going to add this up towards the top. There we go. Now we can decorate that with some flowers, but we'll get this one put together first. So I've glued these two together, but I'm going to add this to the white panel with some foam underneath. So I'll make sure we've got the words the right way around, and we'll add that on there. Now before I add that to the main panel, I'm going to wrap it with some ribbon, and I'm going to glue it on the back so that the workings can't be seen, and we'll add it down here on this straight bit. Now I think that ribbon's too wide, so I'm not using that, I've gone off that, and we'll use the white ribbon instead. So we'll just cut a piece off, we'll add it just a little bit higher, and I'll glue that on the back so that the workings don't show. Now to do that, I've got my glue gun good and ready. So it's nice and hot. Just put a little spot on both sides. Make sure it's level and bring it round. Now when I add that to my card, you won't be able to see that on the back, and I'm going to add this to the card with foam tape underneath. So for this card and the stamp set, I'm going to make a little banner, and I'm going to use the stamp that says, "May your happy ever after begin with the beautiful today." So I've got the stamp in my platform, I've got my white card in place. I'm going to pick the stamp up, and I'm going to stamp this with some black ink. So we'll pop that down there. We'll have it a little bit darker. There we go, that's lovely. So now we can cut that into shape and add it to our cards. So I've stamped my sentiment and I've added it to a little piece of pink card, and I'm going to pop this off centre onto my card. I've got foam tape on the back, and now comes the fun part for me, because now I can decorate it. So I've taken some shop bought flowers because they're so realistic and they do look beautiful, and I'm going to add these to my cards. So I think we'll have some along here, and I'm going to glue all these in place with hot glue. We'll have that one in the middle, and we'll have a rose on either side along there. Now for this one, I think we'll add these going up alongside the sentiment, and you can curve them to whichever way you want them to go. We'll add no, I don't think we'll add some roses in along there. We'll pop a tulip in at the top, and we'll add another rose there just to cover the stems at the bottom, and we'll pop these tulips coming down to the bottom, and that's a lovely display and we'll decorate that with some glitter. There we go. That's a nice display. And we might just pop a leaf in along there, or a couple of leaves in along there. And I've also got a bow to add to this part. So we'll get those glued in place, and then I'll come back and show you the glittering. Now in my little scrap box I've found some flourishes, so I'm going to use these on the card, and I'm going to snip this one just along there, and I'm going to put part of it coming down this way and the other part going up that way. And then on this card I'm going to use these pink pearls, and I'm just going to dot these around the flowers. Now they don't have to be the same on each side. I'm just adding them in for a little bit of extra decoration. So now we can add these in. So we'll snip this down because we don't want it that big. And just to make sure that it sticks, we'll add a little bit of extra glue on the back of it. Now you need to be careful with this. Like I said, I'm very messy with glue. So we'll just add a little bit, and that's just to make sure that it stays on the card. And we'll push that up there in between the flowers. And then this one, we'll snip that little bit off, and we'll put this on the other side. And again, I'm just adding a little bit of glue onto the carrier sheet just to make sure that it stays in place. And we'll bend these out of the way for a minute, and we'll put that under there. And then with your pokey tool you can just bend those back. Very easy to do. And now we can add some glitter onto these flowers. So again, just take your glue, and you can use your little brush if you've got them, and we'll put some glue onto the brush tip, and we'll just dab it onto the flowers. Now at the moment the glue is white, but as it dries it will dry clear, and all that will show then is your glitter. And I've filled the centre of the larger flowers with a little seed pearl. There we go. Now take your glitter, and don't laugh at my glitter box. I dread dropping this on the floor. Can you imagine cleaning all this up? Now I also added a little pink seed thing, pearl bit to the centre of the bowl. So there we've got two really pretty cards that are ready to send in an envelope, or if you wanted to create a box for the depth of the flowers. But you've got really nice cards there to send. And as I said, once the glue dries, all you will have left on your flowers is the glitter. So for these cards I've used the With Love and Best Wishes decorative word, and by splitting them, by snipping into it, we've now created two cards for the price of one.